the Biafrans reject the global conspiracy against the Biafran people. At this moment, we use this media to demand the unconditional release of the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, Ngozi Simon Ekpa Joko, who the Finland authority have held incommunicado for long now. They say they are investigating, and it's been months up to now. No charge has been brought against the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra. We hereby demand the immediate release, the unconditional release of our Prime Minister, Ngozi Simon Ekpa. The global conspiracy against the Biafrans is unacceptable. We will never, ever accept it. It doesn't matter how they try to paint it, the whole world is watching. And it is sad that the world is silent, watching the atrocities committed against the Biafran people. Ngozi Simon Ekpa is only asking for the freedom of his own people. He's only defending his own people, trying to save the innocent life that are being wasted away. Free Ngozi Simon Ekpa now.
Oh, Mama Biafra, where you dey? We dey wait for you to come our way. Simon Ekpa, you dey fight like lion, keeping Biafra safe from Zion. Oh, Mama Biafra, your children they cry. Finland free our Prime Minister. We no go lie. Our enemy they try to annihilate. Free am now before it's too late. Freedom no be small something. Now waiting we dey demand without fronting. Biafra land we want am strong. We Simon Ekpa we go march along. From the east to the west we dey shout. Mama Biafra, yeah, I'll call no doubt. Enemies close, but we stand up tall. Together we rise, we no go follow. Oh, Mama Biafra, your children they cry. Finland free our Prime Minister. We no go lie. Our enemy they try to annihilate. Free am now before it's too late. In unity we go dey strive. Fight for freedom, we go alive. With courage and strength we dey fight. Mama Biafra, our guiding light. Oh, Mama Biafra, your children they cry. Finland free our Prime Minister. We no go lie. Our enemy they try to annihilate. Free am now before it's too late. Freedom no be small something. Now waiting we dey demand without fronting. Biafra land we want them strong. With Simon Ekpa we go march along. From the east to the west we dey shout. Mama Biafra, yeah, oh I call no doubt. Enemies close but we stand tall. Together we rise, we no go fall.
na-eme n'ụbọchị nketa obodo ekwensu bụ zoo Nigeria. Lekwa Nigeria ma dọsa ya Chineke nna dị ngozi. Onye ọbụla na-ekpe ekpere ka Nigeria wee wuru ofu nna nke ebere jide ndị dị etu a wee laa ha n'iyi. Chineke nna kiwe biko bịa ka iwe kpọọ ha ọkụ. Kpọọ ha ọkụ kpọọ ezinụlọ ha ọkụ. kahara agbanyeghị ndị ha bụ ọbụladị ndị ụkọchukwu onye ọbụla mehụrụ ọnụ ma kulie wee sị na ọ ga-adịrị Naijiria na mma, ọ ga-adịrị onye ahụ na mma na ezinụlọ na mma site gosi wee na-eme n'ụbọchị nketa obodo ekwensu bụ zuu Naijiria. Lekwa Naijiria ma dọsa ya Chineke nna dị ngọzi. Onye ọbụla na-ekpe ekpere ka Naijiria wee wuru ofu nna nke ebere jide ndị dị etu a wee laa ha n'iyi. Chineke nna kiwe biko bịa ka iwe kpọọ ha ọkụ kpọọ ezinụlọ ha ọkụ kahara agbanyeghị ndị ha bụ ọbụladị ndị ụkọchukwu onye ọbụla mehụrụ ọnụ ma kulie wee sị na ọ ga-adịrị Naijiria na mma, ọ ga
known as immortals. Because of their sacrifice, Biafra will come. And there is nothing any idiot can do about it. Britain, I'm a British citizen, a British passport holder, I prefer to say. But I'm telling you here now with every ounce of confidence that Britain cannot even stop Biafra.
That's right.
Nobody can. The only thing that can stop Biafra is your fear.
Hold up.
There are people who are incorruptible. Incorruptible, I said. There is nothing that moves them. I have come to this earth to do one thing and one thing alone, is to fight and get Biafra. I have not come to this world to be a millionaire, to own hotel, to own oil block, to be close to the president of Nigeria. That is not my job. My job is, what have you done to restore Biafra? When I die and meet Chukwu Abiyama, that's what they will ask me. Did you get Biafra? Not how many cars you had, how many hotels you built, where? How many convoys you can travel with? Irrelevant.
I will be here to fight because freedom is not coming from Nigeria. Freedom is coming from abroad. Freedom is coming from the United Nations. Freedom is coming from Washington, D.C. Freedom is coming from the European Union. Freedom is not coming from Africa. Freedom is not coming from Nigeria. Freedom is not coming from Abuja. Freedom is coming from America. It's coming from Europe. You don't know that, know it. No matter how sad and bad it sounds, but that is the fact. So why should I go to Nigeria where freedom is not coming from? It's coming from here. I will be here. Biafra freedom will come from diaspora. I promised them for many years, since 2021, that I will bring the Biafra freedom from diaspora. I want you to look around yourself. Is it not coming from diaspora? They thought they have locked everywhere. If you go to Nigeria, they kill you. If you do, they will challenge you. Come to Nigeria, so we'll take you serious. Come to Nigeria. Because I will not come to Nigeria. If you want to die, go and put yourself in war. I will not come to Nigeria. I will be here to fight for my people, and I will be here and free my people from Nigeria. When Queen Elizabeth was controlling you in Nigeria and doing amalgamation, was she there? Was she there? Queen Elizabeth, the same Lugard, was she there? I will do like her. I will be here and free Biafra, and then I will come to unify Biafra people after Biafra has been recognized. I will be here to fight because freedom is not coming from Nigeria. Freedom is coming from abroad. Freedom is coming from the United Nations. Freedom is coming from Washington, D.C. Freedom is coming from the European Union. Freedom is not coming from Africa. Freedom is not coming from Nigeria. Freedom is not coming from Abuja. Freedom is coming from America. It's coming from Europe. You don't know that, know it. No matter how sad and bad it sounds, but that is the fact. So why should I go to Nigeria where freedom is not coming from? It's coming from here. Thank you very much.
One thing people don't know is that we, this current generation fighting for Biafra liberation, we understood something that many people don't understand in the past. We understand that power, every power, is given by God. So why do you discriminate other power, whether evil or good? I want you to understand that this particular freedom we are fighting, if we do not push Nigeria out of our land, we will never have peace. Nobody ever thought of why the devil, why the Satan, or whatever it's called, why was Satan pushed from the heaven to earth? For peace to be in heaven, for peace to reign.
Because if devil or Satan is still in heaven, according to Bible, do you think you'll be struggling to go to heaven today for Christians? You will not. Nigeria said it's going to be a London to what the heaven will look like. If Satan is still there. So I want people to think towards this particular. So it is the same thing with Nigeria. Any time and any day you wake up in Biafra land and see there is still a presence of Nigeria in Biafra territory, there will never be peace. So we must chase Nigeria away, just the way God chased Satan from heaven. That's where they come from. Everything Nigeria will remove them. Educational system will be removed. Even the religious, the way they worship in Nigeria, oh my God, you need to see our constitution. So what I'm saying is starting from the constitution of the United States of Biafra. So we need to chase Nigeria just like they chase Satan from heaven to wherever they belong to, for peace to reign and return in our land.
My fellow Biafrans, as you have heard, sorry for that obstruction. Please, sorry for that obstruction. We must continue and we cannot be distracted. No matter what they are doing to distract us, we must not allow them. We must continue and spread this gospel the best way. We, the Biafrans, reject the global conspiracy against the Biafran people. At this moment, we use this media to demand the unconditional release of the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, Ngozi Simon Ekpa Joko, who the Finland authority have held incommunicado for long now. They say they are investigating, and it's been months up to now. No charge has been brought against the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra. We hereby demand the immediate release, unconditional release of our Prime Minister, Ngozi Simon Ekpa. The global conspiracy against the Biafrans is unacceptable. We will never, ever accept it. It doesn't matter how they try to paint it, the whole world is watching. And it is sad that the world is silent, watching the atrocities committed against the Biafran people. Ngozi Simon Ekpa is only asking for the freedom of his own people. He's only defending his own people, trying to save the innocent life that they went away. Free Ngozi Simon Ekpa now. I thank everyone that has participated on this very program today. Those who joined the sit at home, wherever you are, you participate. The sit at home to demand for the unconditional release of Ngozi Nnamdi Kanu, to demand the recognition of our self-referendum, and for the Zoological Republic to get away from our nation, Biafra. We must continue to engage wherever you are. Please continue to pay attention. Continue to support the United States of Biafra. United States of Biafra, under the command of our Prime Minister, Ngozi Simon Ekpa, the Supreme Command of Ngozi Nnamdi Kanu today, under the leadership of Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. We must continue to support the United States of Biafra until we get to the promised land, which is going to happen very soon. I'm going to share with you another video, as I always do, of our former program for you to get in touch and get connected. Please like and share to those who are not here and those who didn't hear the message. Share, very important, so that we can make haste. Let's watch the program that was made earlier in the day. Indigenous people, they should make haste while the sun shines. Biafrans, we already have our defense. If anything happens today, Biafra will always survive, as we have always survived. But I'm asking that every one of us should sit up. Sit up. This is not time for play. And I want you to hear this message from this Maz.
Onye ọbụla arịlasị ala onye ọbụla dịzi obodo ajụọla oyi mana ịdị afụ mbibi nọ n'okpuru ịdị afịa pasta adị afịa ndị dibịa afọ ya ndị pasta afọ ya ndị niile na-eyi ụja ndị fada afọ ya ndị bishọp nọ na Igbo afọ ya ihe niile a na-akọ ka ya ọga orejie ịgbago ụlọ ụka orejie dibịa agbago okwu arụsị ya orejie agbago echefuo TikTok orejie businessman ahapụ ebe ọ na-azụ afịa ọga na-adịgoro Igbo ready to ime Igbo ka eme ka asalenti ihe akpọrọ Igbo. Finally, ihe na-enwe m iwe bụ na unu chefuo one language trend sometime is a voice note ọsị na mgbe na-abịa mgbe unu nwa bụ ndị Igbo ga adịzi relevant na this country.
Unu adị irrelevant.
Now see, time shall come when Igbos will be no longer relevant in this country called Nigeria. Have you forgotten? He said through that voice road, Nambwenabia, in the 5 years to come, Nandi Igbo, Amad is irrelevant in this country. Shows you that no, we're Umpadoba and Padobe, Chile Kababara, my affair, Abaya, Manaru now, only 5 years to come. 5 years there now. I think you use whatever 3 years in India or so. Igbo will no longer be relevant in this country called Nigeria. Everybody is sleeping from comfort zone. Ihe na-eme anyị o. Ndị Igbo ihe na-eme anyị n'okpuru, ndị Igbo ihe na-eme anyị n'okpuru, ndị Igbo ndị iro gbara ya okirikiri nke ukwuu. Ihe niile ụrụ na-afọ ọbụ nkịtị ka a gbara na ihe a na-eche bụ ka eme efu na getiman gị bụ ihe enemi. Efu na getiman gị aha bụ onye iro. Efu na getiman gị arụ n'ahịa bụ onye iro. Efu na ndị anyị hụrụ na-agagara na street gị bụ ndị iro. Efu na ndị a niile kpakpakpakpakpakpa biko na ya dị enwe plan, anyị enwe ihe a na-akpọ plan. Eri mgbe niile a keri plan unu mee. Ofu onye nke chọrọ ime plan ka anyị wee nwee ike idifend baba anyị eji ya na mkpọrọ. Ndị nke bụ ndị pụtara apụta onye ọbụla were zugbo ori, were ya kụtọba mmadụ, were ya mebe so many things. Ihe niile abụ distraction. A ga-eme emesịa ka ị wee mara ebe anọ. Ebe distract gị ibido ka gbagharabazịa maka na ụkọrọ niile na ọhịa niile na ụzọ niile unu ya aga ha amaracha anya onwere ebe fọnụ ebe a na-agbagotara gị mmiri n'elu flat gị. Ọga anyị eri anya anyị mgbe na-adịghị anya site na-akọ ibe anyị na-akọ. Achọghị m ịkpọ onye ọbụla iyi, achọghị m ịgwa onye ọbụla okwu ọjọọ maka na o metụta imi na ọ ga-emetụta anya anyị niile ga-ata afụfụ ya. O nwere onye na-eme nsọt, o nwere onye na-akparị, mana obibe na-agwa ụrụ na anyị ga-ata afụfụ ya. O nwere plan anyị nwee, o nwere no plan no secret. Ihe niile nwa bụ nke ndị Igbo nwere nwa ga-eji wee na-eme ruo mgbe aha sị ka amara ma ya eme ka aṅụ gbaba ndị mmadụ maọbụ anọghị n'ụra maọbụ ndị mmadụ agbafuo. Ha ncha niile ka unu jiri bupụtasie ya, bupụta ya na soshal midia, ndị ahụ bụkwa ofu ndị ire ahụ amara na unu enwere ike unu bupụte, unu na-akọwa, unu na-ebupụte. No, nwere nothing, everything is open. Ihe niile eghe oye, o nwere otu ihe bụ dịkara o nwere no defense. Now ọ bụrụ na ịbịakwa kịta now ijekwa ebe a now ịfụkwa na eje n'ugbo kịta you cannot survive n'ugbo ha na-ekwu okwu je gbugbu ugbo ha nọgo n'ebe a na-eri na-ekwosi akpụ gị, ekwopụ akpụ gị, enyi ewu, enyi efi, kwosisie ya, nwere ife ị ga-eme nobody. Ihe niile eji ekwo akpụ abụ ka ịma m ya ewu iwe ka unu wee iwe mapụta ewure gosi unu m ha na-akpọ na-ewure kirie mgbe elele raiba na ụra onye ọbụla ga-arara ụra mụnwa nke ya na-ekwu mkpu egwu jakwa nje dị na-ararụba ụra. Anyị ga-eri anya anyị mgbe a bịara ara nwunye gị n'ihu gị, mgbe a bịara na nwa gị nwaanyị n'iru gị, mgbe a bịara dizibenyi na obere nwata anyị mụrụ amụ, mgbe a bịara megide nne gị, ma ihe ndị a na-eme gị n'anya na abụọ. Nnamdị Kanụ nwere onye ọ bụ o kwuru okwu kwucha ndị mmadụ eje lebelụọ ihe ha lebelụrụ ya. Mana taa what is going on, o nwere onye Igbo dị serious, o nwere ma ndị igwe ndị achọghị m ikwu okwu ọjọọ, ma ndị igwe ma ndị binonia ma ndị onye ọbụla nọ isi na white na-ekoko ka rarụbanụ n'ụra. Ụzọ amara akpọ ogene, ogene ọ degbe anya n'ọdụ. No hope, no secret, just gbamasị bịaba ikpokoro police, kpokoro amị, ndị niile ahụ Igbo bụkwa the same people ahụ bụ ndị na-aga adịghị ọha ma bege ọha ma everything, ọha na everywhere, ha bụ everything. Ndị nwere plan dị ife afọ, ndị nwere plan ka ịkpọ, ndị nwere esoghị ị na-eko na-emegheri. Achọghị m ikwu okwu ọjọọ, achọghị m ikwu okwu ga-egbu gị iwe, mana ofu ibe nchara ịgba n'ọwa bụ ndị Igbo bụ plan nke ahụ edebere anyị rigoro n'elu ya. Esigo otu adodo plan nke ahụ aka ebe nigoro nụ down, plan nke ahụ ka eji aka na ihe ọ bụla egburu wụsọ frrrrm amịa plan nke ahụ ma gị ma Lamborghini go ma ụlọ elu go ma ego go onye ihe ga na-anụ pịatịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtapịtap onye pụtara na-eti mkpu na-eti na-agwụrụ ọ nọ n'ime onweghị unu menwu upon all the mighty unu sị unu dị egwu unu nwere ka unu ara na gị ma ị nwere ego ma unu elugo ma unu anaghị ma mma ma akwụkwọ gị nwa ihe niile egoro ife ndị a niile onwere ụbụrụ adịrọ no long term project ndị sị na ha amara akwụkwọ ndị sị na ha amala ibe ndị iji akpụ iyi ebere na-emere good arrangement, a very serious arrangement. In the next 5 years, said by the voice note, Igbos will be no longer relevant in this country called Nigeria. Go and sleep. Congratulations, Ndibo. Una congratu. Thank you.
You have heard from this our brother. He has just made his own point. And it is good. That is why we bring all these informations, voices from all corners of all angles. Because if we continue to speak on our own, it will seem as if we are making it up. Or sometimes when you continue to hear from us again and again and again, you get bored. But you can see from the information that brother is passing out that there is a terrible danger in Biafra land. And just as he said, so many of us are not paying attention to this danger. So many of us are not paying attention. This rain that is preparing to fall, it is going to beat many people. It is going to beat many people mercilessly. You will say, had I known. You see the Biafran government shouting every blessed day, shouting for support every day, and you keep silent. Don't worry. The same way Mazen Nandekano shouted and shouted and shouted, and they called him a troublemaker. Mazen Nandekano traveled to so many places to talk to Biafrans, asking Biafrans to come out and support their own freedom. People never paid attention. Many saw him as a troublemaker. Many say he's talking too much. Some even branded him a 419. There's nothing they didn't call him. Where are we today? All you hear on the media today is Mazen Nandekano said it. Oh, he said it. Oh, he said it. Our Prime Minister, Mazen Samaneko, come on board. And he talked and talked and talked and talked. He didn't only talk, he began to defend Biafra land. Mazen Samaneko established the United States of Biafra Army. And they began defense. All hell broke loose. The zoo ran mad. The zoo ran mad. The chief of army staff became a social media warrior. Every day he was on social media, calling on our prime minister, running from east, west, north, and south, looking for support. And the saddest thing that Biafran people even joined him. At a point in time, even the Ohanese Ndu Hinandam joined him and began to call for the head of our prime minister. That is why sometimes when I remember this Ohanese Ndu Hinandam, I don't know what to call them. These are a bunch of criminals that has nothing to offer. And I'm going to play a video how Mazen Nandekano describe them. These people that call them Ohanese, and they are the same. It doesn't matter who is there now, who is going to be there tomorrow, or who's going to be there next tomorrow. They have one agenda. They have one agenda to fight against their own. And I'm going to play an extract of what Mazen Nandekano talked about them. All these criminal Ohanese and the politicians themselves.
Them in Ohanese should be brought out and shot dead or hanged. These people are worse than our Salamajuri. They are hopeless. Ohanese and Dioshin and these are vagabonds from the depths of hell. These people should be hanged in front of their father's compound in their respective villages. Okay, these are evil men because of money, peanuts. Because of 5 billion, they sold their right, the birthright. Useless, hopeless men. Ohanese don't care about you. They don't give a damn about you. They will sell you any day, any time, any second, any minute without looking back because they are the products of sabotage during the war. Everybody in Ohanese today was in MPN. Awasa Fulani Party. They were the people that they chose to sabotage Biafra. That's why they went into Ohanese. Ndaran and Dioshi. Only fools can listen to them. Useless Ohanese and Ndaran and Dioshi.
That is how our student Mazen can describe them. So when we talk about these people, when we say don't pay attention to them, we know what we are saying. It doesn't matter which regime. And that is why today, are you surprised that for you to have a leader of Ohanese, the governors will be involved, the federal government will be involved. Look at the one that just transpired few months ago, where they begin to manipulate. Some group were at the River State making the election, and some were in Enugu making the election. They always have two parties. And when they form those two parties, the federal government will use their own to impose on the rest of them, and they have no choice, and they follow. Today, have you ever had the Ohanese Ndu Hinandam making a case for you for anything? Nothing. The same thing that the senators are doing in the House of Assembly, nothing. They are not working for you. They are there for themselves, pursuing irrelevant issues. One of the irrelevant issues they are pursuing today is the immortalizing Humphrey Wosu. That is one of the, in a time when you have serious issues, where people are dying, where Biafra land is under siege, that doesn't concern you. When it was time to talk about that Wosu issue, they never talked about it. In their present, the president whom Ngozi conducted the election for him to win was immortalized. In their presence, he was honored by the federal government of Nigeria. The vice was honored, but the person that conducted that election was not even mentioned at all. No mention of him. And none of them commented. Now, in a very serious moment when we are supposed to be talking about relevant issues, that is what they are discussing in the House of Assembly. When the Fulanis are taking over our land, when the British are using the Fulani Caliphate to dominate our land, take over our land, and make sure that our resources remain in their hands. It is sad. And you see how Mazi Nnamdi described them. They are not worth living. They are not worth listening to. They are not supposed to exist among us. But some of you are paying homage to them. Some of you love them so much that you can't do anything, you can't do without them. It is sad. It is very, very sad. We, the Biafran people, have been made endangered species in our own land. Our land has been taken over. Every look and cranny of the land has been taken over, and people are living in danger. When you wake up in the morning, you go out, you're not sure you're going to come back alive. You can't be sure of anything. People are barely living in fears. And how can you continue to live in such a way? Biafrans have suddenly turned to cowards. They can no longer fight for themselves. When you talk, they ask you, why are you talking? When you speak, they ask you, are you the only one? They are busy fighting themselves instead of fighting the enemy that have come to destroy them. That is what some of us are doing. This battle did not start today. Our eternal leader, Dim Odumugojuku, did everything he has to do. The same sabotage is what he faced. The same sabotage. Our supreme leader, our eternal leader, Dim Odumugojuku, was sabotaged by his own brothers. The same thing our supreme leader, and he was also sabotaged. And today, our Prime Minister was also sabotaged by the same Biafran people. Today we have Orabueze running the affairs. They are still sabotaging. They are fighting, calling her names. It is sad. These are people that say they want freedom. And I ask, why don't you channel that your strength? That's your strength, that's your wisdom, that knowledge. You say, yeah, why don't you channel it to getting your freedom? Dr. Ngozi Orabueze is not stopping you to fight your Biafra the way you want to fight it. She has not come to blackmail you or say anything against you. But all you do in your program on a daily basis is mentioning her name with lies, propaganda, and blackmails. And you think you can scale through. You will never. But it is sad that some of you that are doing that thing will never see Biafra because you have taken the oath. Some of you have sworn on live program, and you swore and say that if you go against Biafra, that you will not live to see Biafra. And we say, he say, everybody shouted, he say. Then you take this prayer for a joke. Wait for it. That prayer, when it begin to walk on your head, don't say you are not told. Don't say you are not warned. Because the time is going to come. Wherever you are as a Biafran, every Monday should mark a special day for you to reflect back on what you are doing. Reflect on where we are coming from. Reflect on the challenges we are facing. When you look at the situation of Mazi Nnamdi today, what is coming to your head? A man that committed no crime, yet they continue to hold him against his will. We will continue to demand for the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi, regardless what the enemies do. Mazi Simon Ekpa took up the battle also. And what did they do? They restricted Mazi Simon Ekpa. Today, the Finnish authorities still holding Mazi Simon Ekpa against his will. Even when they have no charges against him, they continue to hold him. And they expect us to keep silent. That all is well. We will not be silent. Mazi Simon Ekpa must be released unconditionally by the Finnish authority. And we know this is a global conspiracy. But no matter what the conspiracy is, we will not be silent. We will continue to demand the release of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon. Global conspiracy against the Biafran people. At this moment, we use this media to demand the unconditional release of the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, Mazi Simon Ekpa Joko, who the Finland authority have held incommunicado for long now. They say they are investigating, and it's been months up till now. No charge has been brought against the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra. We hereby demand the immediate release, the unconditional release of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. The global conspiracy against the Biafrans is unacceptable. We will never, ever accept it. It doesn't matter how they try to paint it, the whole world is watching. And it is sad that the world is silent, watching the atrocities committed against the Biafran people. Mazi Simon Ekpa is only asking for the freedom of his own people. He's only defending his own people, trying to save the innocent lives that are being wasted away. Free Mazi Simon Ekpa now. We will continue to speak. It does not matter what the enemies are doing. It does not matter their plans against us. We will never give up. Wherever you are as a Biafran, do not get distracted. Do not allow the plans of the enemies to get you. Remember, we have a task ahead of us. And that task is to make sure that we restore Biafra. This very assignment has been there from the time of our eternal leader, Dim Odumegwu. And we must not forget this task. The war we are fighting is not just against the Biafrans. There are powers out there that are fighting to keep us down. They know whom we are. They know us better than we know ourselves. That is why they do not want us to succeed. My fellow Biafrans, let us listen to the message of our eternal leader, Dim Odumegwu. One of the messages he delivered in his speech during the Civil War. Let us hear him.
Abandon us, then perhaps it is better we all perish.
Fight on, brave boys, fight on, heroes of our fatherland. Pursue the enemy, harass him, destroy the invader. March on, brave boys, now that victory is in sight. March on and hasten the disintegration of the enemy already set in motion.
Fighting a war, knowing the difficulties, the odds against us, there is an element of fatalism, people feeling, well, if the world chooses to abandon us, then perhaps it is better we all perish. They don't ever consider a Biafra not free. They believe in either Biafra free or no Biafra at all. That means none of us living to see it.
I need Biafra freedom. We Biafrans, we need Biafra freedom. For this, I decided, even to die, that Biafra must have its own freedom.
I want us to work systematically towards the establishment of a good, progressive, and democratic society where all vestiges of privilege and social injustice will be abolished, and the rich contribute more for the welfare of the poor. If civil war comes, and I do think it is imminent, you're quite right, it will for us be the price of freedom. Our people here have for a long time been prepared for this eventuality, and I am confident of their readiness. I think that when it does come, that the people on the other side would be surprised as to what they're going to get. And I'm confident that it will not last long.
We'll surely come out as a nation because we're fighting a just cause. Even a little child on the street will tell you this. We shall never go back to Nigeria again. God's grace will surely emerge as a nation. And so, as far as this war continues, we'll fight to the last man.
This is what Biafra is, the end of the journey for a persecuted, massacred, pursued people. We have made all attempts at a democratic resolution of this crisis. I have offered open elections, plebiscite. I have offered just an open carte blanche suggestion, anybody who can find a democratic way of finding out the wishes of the people, let him suggest it and we will go for it.
Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujugu. Another Savior, holy, 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 Adimebujugu. Another Savior, holy, holy.
That was some brief extracts from the Biafran Civil War. You know, sometimes when we talk about this issue of civil war, to some people, I don't know, they feel it's a story that never happened. Sometimes when we talk about it, I don't know how some of us feel. Because I see no reason a Biafran at this point in time cannot redirect his word and his speech and his actions towards the enemy. Every one of us know we have a common enemy that have continued to keep us down. We have a common enemy that we are supposed to fight. They have been committing genocide in our land since 1945. And from 1967, it became worse. And they came up openly to make sure they destroy us completely. By the special grace of Chukwu, we survived. And they didn't stop. As we speak, the plan to exterminate the Biafrans is still ongoing. There are many mass graves in Biafra land today as we speak that has not been identified, which should be identified after our freedom. When we have taken out the Zoological Republic completely from our territory, you'll be surprised what you will discover. You're going to be shocked what you will discover. Because these informations are intact. The atrocities of Nigerian government in Biafra territory. It is high time we rise up to the occasion and face the real enemy. And by the way, the Zoological Republic and the Fulanese cannot face us. They can't. The Caliphate cannot face us. When it comes to warfare, they cannot. But we know those that are empowering them. We know that the British is playing a very major role to continue to hold us down. And they are sponsoring the insecurity you are seeing today. From the northern part of Nigeria up onto the Biafra land. It's still about their interests. That is why today, even before their own very eyes, their own citizen was kidnapped, tortured, extraordinarily rendition. Yet they don't care about it. They don't care. They are still going about their business as if nothing happened. And when they speak about it, they expect us to clap for them that they have spoken about it. That is how bad it is. That is how bad it is. When they speak about these things, they pretend that it's just happening at their own time. There are many powers that are involved in what is happening to Biafrans. And if we must win this war, every hand must be on them. The battle we are fighting is not just against Nigeria. There are international interests. People who are interested because of their economical interests. All they need is our resources. They don't want us alive. They will do everything to get it. Get it even free. And that is why you are seeing the manipulation you are seeing today. That is why you are seeing the global conspiracy against Biafrans. But I bet you, we cannot fold our hand and pretend all is well. It is high time we fight and get this right. I want to play a video before I will allow my beloved brother, Maxwell, to join us. You're welcome, my brother Maxwell. Happy sit at home. So, on this very video I'm about to play, you are going to see an explanation that was made by the man in Burkina today, Traore. There are very striking revelations he made. And I want you, when you are listening to this very video, just think about what Biafrans is facing, what we are up against. In the case of Burkina, it is the French. But in the case of Biafra, it is the British. You can imagine what we are facing. I want you to listen to this explanation given by Traore.
These imperialist forces, it's simple. We denounce the agreement. Everything starts from there. I think the example of Chad in any case.
Sorry.
By denouncing the agreements.
I want you to listen carefully. He's explaining the way to remove this imperialist, the way to fight this war and win it, which is exactly what the Biafrans are doing today. Denying the agreement. The evil amalgamation that was done in 1904, we deny it. We must remove ourselves from this British enclave. That is where to start. And that is what has been done. Through the declaration of the Restoration of Biafra in Finland on the 29th of November, 2024, we have denied that very arrangement of the zoo, and we take ourselves into it. That is the first step to take, and we are taking that step. But it's not going to be an easy one. I want you to listen carefully on his explanation.
If you want to break with these imperialist forces, it's simple. We denounce the agreement. Everything starts from there. I think the example of Chad in any case is tangible. They started by denouncing the agreements. Otherwise, if we don't denounce the agreements, just saying that the bases leave, we haven't done anything. Because the problem...
Denouncing the agreement for us is the declaration of the United States of Biafra. The redeclaration of the United States of Biafra is our own denial of anything that has to do with the Zoological Republic and their British leader. So when I see Biafrans fighting against that declaration, it baffles me. You see a Biafran fighting against that declaration, and yet that Biafran is claiming that he wants freedom. How are you going to free yourself? What kind of freedom are you looking for? When you are still attaching yourself to your slave master, what sort of freedom are you looking for? You are just the same thing with the one Nigerianists that are pretending and shouting and crying when they can't make any move. When you are a Biafran and you are standing against the declaration of the Restoration of Biafra that was done on the 29th of November 2024, you are as the same as a one Nigerianist. Because you have refused to deny that thing that is holding you down, that agreement that is tying you down, that agreement that they signed up on your behalf without your knowledge, that agreement that made you a slave. That agreement was denounced on the 29th of November 2024, but yet today you see some idiots attaching themselves to that agreement and say they want to remain there. And then the other hand, they tell you they want freedom. Sorry, it is a pity.
Lies in the colonial agreements, the defenses that have been signed since independence. The most dangerous is not the one you see in the bases. The most dangerous are the military advisors.
I want you to pay attention to these military advisors he talked about. We have these military advisors. They are so much in the zoo. And even among us Biafrans. Let him explain, then I will now tell you how they are into us.
Advisors exist in all these countries. They existed in Burkina as well until the end of 2022, until we took responsibility. And who are these military advisors? They are the ones who are supposed to implement France's policy. Here, they must work to make our armies very weak, so that France...
The military advisors, they are the ones who are supposed to implement the policies of the slave master among you, unknowingly, and you think they are your brothers. They are among us, but their own objective is to implement the policies of the slave master. In the Zoological Republic today, you see them in uniform and off uniform. That is why somebody who called himself a human being in the 21st century will go back and bring back the colonial master's national anthem and remove the indigenous national anthem that was put in place by his own people. He removed it and brought back the colonial master's national anthem. In our Biafran struggle, that is why you will see some idiot who will be telling you about Igbo presidency. They will be talking about immortalizing one person or the other in Nigeria. All they'll be telling you are things that is going to attach you back, take you back to the colonial master, to that place you don't want to be. They will be giving you so many options, so many useless and unnecessary options. Someone like Putobi, who is ready to change everything about him to be a Fulani man in order to be a president. All these people are being planted by the colonial masters to serve their own purpose. To serve their own purpose. They want to weaken everything that has to do with you. That strength that you have. They are the people that are used, they were used to write petitions against our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa to weaken the struggle of Biafra. The same Biafrans, our own fellow Biafrans, some of them are with us today. They are still with us and shouting and talking. They want freedom. But their own role is to make sure that the colonial master's agenda stands unabated. Fellow Biafrans who are there only to serve the purpose of the slave master. Our land is under occupation in the hands of the Nigerian government sponsored by the British. And we are fighting to take them away from our territory. We have removed ourselves from our agreement by the declaration we made. And you see somebody who claims to be fighting the same thing you're fighting, standing against that very removal of yourself from that agreement. He wants to take you back there. It is sad, but that is the situation we are seeing. Let us continue to listen to it.
Can always have the argument to exist here. Under their influence, they had succeeded. Our sentinels were therefore standing guard with sticks. That's what France wants from our armies. When we reach this stage, we have no choice but to want them to come and settle. But the Burkinabe army managed to get rid of the military advisors. Unfortunately, I think that in 2019, after Operation Otapono, where the French saw that the Burkinabe army still had the capacity to respond to terrorists, they called the chiefs of staff in France. They instructed him to reintegrate the military advisors throughout the structure. Well, they did not agree. But upon returning to the country, the politicians instructed him to accept the military advisors. And that's when the military advisors returned to the Burkinabe army in 2019. With all the consequences we know, the army was on the verge of disappearing in the years 2020, 2021. And indeed, this is the time when many soldiers had to desert because there was no longer any hope. We were in the process of collapsing. That's a bit how they work at the General Staff headquarters. In all army headquarters, in the schools, they are the ones who are supposed to dictate the policy of our army. They are the ones who tell us when to recruit, how to recruit, and what to do with them. They are in the schools to tell us how to train them, and so on. As long as these military advisors are there, you are not independent. Your army will just have the appearance of an army that is there to perform parades, a circus. But when war comes, you will realize that a parade is one thing, but war is another thing. You have to break the agreements. It's the only way to have an independent army and build strength. But many people do not understand this, perhaps. And even with these agreements, France selects from our states officer cadets to go and train them. It's through these same agreements. But in reality, these officers who go to train, for the most part for France, they come to serve the French state in their country. They do not come to serve our countries. They train them so that they come to serve the interests of the French state.
While you are listening to this very man, I want you to continue to transmit whatever he is saying about now to the issue of Biafra. You begin to understand it properly. This is the challenge they faced. And this challenge is what every African country is facing. With the inclusion of Biafra, our own is even much more tougher because we are trying to take ourselves away from a fellow black Africans that have sold their soul completely and taken the identity of the slave matter completely without even any apology. They don't even hide it. The case of Nigeria is their own military advisors and people working for British are so bold and open. Their own is, you can imagine that before you can be a president, you have to go to British. You go to Chatham House and speak, and they adopt you before you become a president. That is what is happening. And that is why we have to be very careful in this restoration of Biafra we are talking about today. There are people that have been planted the same way the British planted in the zoo, the same way the zoo and their caliphate have also recruited some people to join us in this very agitation. That when you are saying A, they will say B. They will try to use propaganda and blackmail to weaken you from what you are doing, to weaken your forces. You can see the battle we are fighting today in the Liberation Army. While we are talking about decentralization of Liberation Army of Biafra to make things easier to defend our land, some people are bent on recruiting militia. We have declared Biafra, and from that moment, what we operate is an army, a legitimate army, according to international law, and we obey all the laws. But some people want us to remain as a militia. They come and they introduce themselves as men on the ground. They have used the language of men on the ground to confuse many people that today, people no longer know their left and right. That even when you talk about the Liberation Army of Biafra today, some people get confused. But they prefer mentioning men on the ground. These are confusions that are planted by the slave masters, directly and indirectly. And this is just to translate what this man is saying, that he has passed through and what he's still going through. He's just sharing the experience for all of us to know what we are up against and what we will face and what we have to fight. The internal enemy. The internal enemy. We must be aware of the internal enemy. They will always be there. These slave masters will never go without a fight. Sometimes they will be your closest friend. Sometimes they might be your brother or your sister. Sometimes they will be your benefactor. But I bet you, if you genuinely want freedom, it doesn't matter who it is. If they stand on your way, crush them and keep moving and never look back.
I can provide evidence of this. When we revolted, many officers in Burkina who were trained in France were immediately contacted to tell them that it was time to take action because you were trained for this, to serve France's interests. Most of these officers reported back to us. We took note and we continued to monitor. When an officer trained in France returns to his country and unfortunately dies, either by accident or on the battlefield. In France, there is a night of tribute to the fallen in the army, as there is everywhere else. During the night of tribute to the fallen, the name of the officer in question is mentioned, and it is said, died for France. they do not train him to serve his country. They train him to serve their state. And in many African states, there are plenty of such officers.
Did you hear him? The message is clear. That this colonial master, they train people put in your midst to serve them and not to serve you. That is why today you see people that are benefiting from the British Empire. There is nothing you will do for them to support you to have your freedom. That is why you'll be imagining, how can we know all these facts? How can they be taking the life of Biafra? How can they be making moves to take our land? They are not hiding about it. They will come and say it openly in the open. Yet, a politician will tell you to accommodate them. You begin to imagine, how can it be that these terrorists are coming to take our area? They are taking the life of innocent people. We don't have anything in common to them, and they are not willing to compromise in their project. You know that their project is to take over the land. And yet, a governor, a politician is inviting them, rapporting with them, playing with them, even giving them land and telling you to accept them. It is because these individuals were trained to serve the purpose of the colonial master and not you, the indigenous person. That is why I tell people, every politician, it doesn't matter under which umbrella they are hiding, they are all a bunch of criminals and they don't mean well for you. They do not mean well for you. And they will never. Whatever they are pursuing is their personal interest and the interest of their colonial master that put them in the position where they are. My beloved brother Maxwell, please take the mic and speak to us. Let's hear from you, my brother Maxwell.
Thank you, and good morning to you, Mazi Chicks. Good morning to my brothers and sisters in the comment section. Good morning to Mazi Nnamdi. Good morning to my able Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, and the pilot that is directing the affairs of the United States of Biafra and her cabinet members. I say happy Monday to each and every one of you, and the blessing that is tied to this day be upon all of you. I would like to use this opportunity to also say, glory be to God that our people are still sitting at home, to demonstrate their civic disobedience to the ordeals that they are going through in the Biafra land, has been occupied by the Nigerian terrorist government. May God continue to support you. Our people on the ground, the armed forces of Biafra that are taking care of the Biafra land, irrespective, despite the difficulty that they are encountering. I say, may God continue to bless you for the volunteer job that you are doing for your fatherland. Nobody is going to do it. You see this young officer, Captain Traore of Burkina Faso, our neighbor that is speaking the way he is speaking today. They volunteered. They were determined to do the right thing, and that is why you see them. I would like to see such spirit in our people. We can do it, and we can do it better than my comrade, Captain Traore Ibrahim. You see, when you look at what the video that you played right now, you would discover that the colonial imperialists, I call them colonial idiots, because I don't want to associate master in that nonsense, that nonsensicality. I don't want to associate master to it because they can never be my master. I was a master and continue to be a master before they came and used their divide and rule tactics to intimidate and capture us, put us into this subjugation that we all are in today. And while they were living as well, they didn't live entirely. They still left their footprint by appointing stooges that are going to carry out their instructions, policies in strategic places of authority in your country. That is what they do. In as much as they are far away in France, in London, in the United Kingdom, their eye and their feet is still in your place. They are watching you. That is why when you go to the embassies today, you have what they call the defense. What do they call it? That is a name they call it. I don't know if you can.
Defense attaché.
A defense attaché. Thank you so much. That defense attaché is what they used. And to add it up, they knew that if they only speak through words alone, that these people time will come, they will realize, just like Ibrahim Traore now has also, have done. See, what they do is to introduce what they call military aid to handicap you. You see, the military aid they give you is targeted to make you weaker and weaker and weaker. They will sedate you. They will make you weak so that once you are receiving this military aid for quite some time, you will become addicted to it. You will not do anything. You will be so lazy and lousy to derive or bring out your own military policies that's supposed to guide your own country. As long as you depend on them, they will give you this military aid in order to make your own military answerable to them. Take, for instance, Mazi Chiefs and those that are listening to us, the January 15, 1966 coup. Look at all the officers that were involved, and look at all the officers of the Nigerian army as at that time. Where were they trained? Where were they trained? They were trained in the United Kingdom. The tradition of the United Kingdom is what they placed into their heads. If you ask me if that 66 coup was a good thing coming from where I am, I would tell you no. No, it wasn't. Who orchestrated it? The same people. Who orchestrated the first rigging of election in Nigeria? The same British people. They were the same people that came out to antagonize the Yorubas and telling them that, oh, they had an election, men grew, men become pregnant overnight. I don't know, in Agbada, I don't know whether you remember that, that phrase, that men grew pregnant overnight. Yeah. The same British people. They will see you when you want to make. The reason why they carried out that coup, they instigated that coup, was the growth in the old eastern region known as Biafra. That was the reason. We never had any political restiveness in that particular place, where there are small little problems, as though people were also, crying of marginalization and things like that. But it is not as worse as it is today. In order to scuttle the growth, the massive and rapid development that was going on that time, if they allowed the old eastern region Biafra today would definitely be a force to reckon with. They discovered that, they saw it earlier on before our people. They manipulate the system, because once you hold the system, all the adjoining regions would definitely collapse. That was what happened, and that they succeeded. And those of us, our parents, our grandfathers, uncles, and aunties that said, no, this thing cannot happen. They targeted those people that were growing their economies, that were all over making headways. They used divide hate to deal with them, and they started. The manifestation was the killing that you saw on the street right across Nigeria. That was what happened. They will never allow you to stand on your own, because they believe, as they are colonial idiots, they believe that you cannot do anything without them. There is something I sent. If Biafrans will come together, there are quite a lot of things that are going to change. If you remember, I do not know. I sent it. We were on the, is it on the Drake? Yeah, Drake's platform yesterday when I sent what one of my elder man sent to me from Aba State. A Russian pilot that confessed, regretted at last, I think at 80 or 90 years old, for bombing, for partaking in the bombing of the Biafra land. I don't know whether you have seen that this Mazi Chips.
Yeah, I saw it.
Oh, good. Do you know? Did you see the note that was under that thing? What the usage of electromagnetic camouflage in the military that the Biafran people adopted way back 1967. Did you read through that? Did you read through that? Good. That is to know who you are. If they allowed you, in fact, the man went forward to say that Russia is still studying that electromagnetic camouflage that the Biafrans deployed on Omuma camp in Aba State as at that time. You think that these people are fools? That they will allow you to produce things that you are going to use to stand toe-to-toe against them? That is the reason why they do what they do. And the only country that has the countries that have broken that jinx is Mali, Burkina Faso, and the Niger Republic. These people cannot be dictated upon anymore. These are Francophone countries that are, in fact, you see, because of these three nations now, you see some other Kepu countries are trying to join them secretly. I think it is going to be brutal. They are now encouraged to join these people because they have seen changes in their policies, changes in development, and changes in the formation of their military and the avoidance of AIDS. Have you seen any Anglophone country, including my own Ghana, come out to speak? Rather, what they do is to use them to go there and begin to run peace, talk peace. Like my current president, when there was talking about peace, democracy, peace. If the military is necessary to put things in place in Burkina Faso, chase away their colonial idiots, then why will you not go and begin to tell them about peace and democracy? Was it not democracy that they were practicing there? The democracy that these people are practicing that is yielding them fruits, good, policies that makes their people live to a standard, a living standard. Is that what they are allowing you to do in Africa? That is the reason why Biafrans can never, because Biafrans enjoy rule of law before they came. Affirmative measures were there in place in Biafra land before the colonial leaders came. The leadership and ruling types of leadership that they had that time was working for them before these people came and scuttled it. And they fought, they defended it, but they had allies that joined them to defeat us. And we are coming back. And the Biafra is that standing point. Biafra is that object at that vantage point that is going to, take us back to where we were before and develop ourselves with the knowledge that we have acquired today and place Biafra where it's supposed to be. That is the reason why I fight for Biafra. And you cannot know the reason why you are fighting for Biafra. I am fighting for Biafra for a total freedom, restoration of the dignity, and the worldwide recognition of that country as a sovereign nation with great people. With great people. I have seen countries that are less than 200 and something thousand. They are leading themselves. Example is Barbados. You have other countries. Okay? Nobody. Nobody is going to stop us from what we are doing. That is the best thing to do. And for our people that are doing the needful, I thank you so much. Please bear in mind that we must emphasize this. The rumors and the hate speech that is going on against the Igbo-speaking Biafran, in fact, the entire Biafra land, including Oromi, must be put to a halt. I have seen the people that are perpetuating evil on the land that is not yours, that is not theirs. I mean, when we retaliate, the terrorist government of Nigeria will now call for our heads. That must be stopped. No Biafran person must be harmed because of the, retaliatory attempt that they made on these people. And I ask again, from Kano State to Port Harcourt is about 1,000 and something kilometers. 1,090 something or 50 something kilometers. That is the distance in kilometers. I have never seen, even in the United States, where people are going from up to that kind of distance to go and hunt games. What games were you hunting in Rivers State? You were hunting our women, you were hunting our sisters, you were hunting and grazing on our lands. And when you discover that you have made enough money, you chartered Dangote truck, place all your proceeds of crime in Biafra land and begin to go, because Dangote truck cannot be searched. It has the, what do they call it? The duty, what is it? The duty free. Whether it's duty free or whatever.
To use anywhere.
To use anywhere. He has the guarantee, the support, the warrant to travel anywhere without being searched. But the luck ran away from you and you were caught. And when they caught, they said they are hunters. When they caught the Fulani terrorists, they called them bandits and miscreants. Before, they called Boko Haram bandits and miscreants. They will not call them the name they deserve. They are calling these people now hunters. It is only in Nigeria that people would do something. Instead of them to speak the way it is, they begin to round the issue. They begin to bring out names that I've never heard before. They are terrorists, that they are terrorists. AK-47 was discovered there. And I am surprised that the Nigerian army and the Nigerian government today is now going there to arrest. Go and arrest. If you cannot arrest the people that started this problem in our farms, stopping them from crying. Ibanke has been crying. Uromi has been crying. The entire Edo State has been crying. Enugu, Ebonyi, Anambra, Imo, Abia, Rivers, Bayelsa, all of them are Bible. Cross River have been crying about the menaces of these Fulani herdsmen terrorists. You refuse to curtail them, you refuse to tame them. And when we respond, just like you did in Southern Kaduna, when the people responded, that was the time you knew that you can go there and keep peace. But when the other people you consider your special children, the golden children, Fulani terrorists, are menacing our people, you will not come out to speak. Even your media cannot speak about them. If not social media, we won't know what is going on in Biafra land and right across that evil entity. We will not allow anybody to deal with the Biafrans wherever they found themselves in that zoological republic. We must not allow that to happen. They must be protected. I thank you and God bless you. I yield here.
Thank you so much, my beloved brother. Thank you for touching to that very aspect. And I believe my fellow Biafrans are prepared. If you are a Biafran and you are still residing in the north, or you are not in Biafran territory, just like our prime minister has said in the past, that we have limitation to what we can do. The Liberation Army have limitation to what they can do. Our main focus now is to defend and protect the Biafran territory. If you are outside the territory of Biafra, you must have to prepare yourself for what is coming. And the advice I've been given several times for Biafrans to gather themselves, put themselves together, arrange themselves and gather themselves for self-defense in the place they are. For a very long time, Biafrans have always been victims. Whenever something happens in any part of the world, they will face the Biafran people, even when we are not involved. The same people that will come and tell me that somebody who is from so place is not a Biafran. This person is from the so place is not a Biafran. But when that person commits a crime or commits an offense, they will now unleash their anger on every Biafran, wherever you are. But when it comes to normal life, when we identify those who are Biafrans and those who are not, they will fight us and say it is not true. The most annoying is that even the people who are Biafrans deny their Biafranness until when it comes to a difficult side. They deny their Biafranness, and we face the consequence. We will suffer the brunt of all the whatever they commit. Anything that happened to them, they face us. But it's annoying that when we tell these people that you are Biafrans, let us fight, get our freedom, and every nation can be on their own. Biafra is a country. There are nations inside that Biafra. A nation and a country is not the same thing. Biafra is a country of its own. Inside that country, Biafra, there are nations. When you talk about a country, you talk about geographical space, the map, the geographical space that put us together. That is a country. That's how you describe it. But when you come to nations, people that have the same tongue, the same value, the same culture, people that speak the same language, they are nations on their own. And in Biafra, as a country, there are many nations. Let us unite together and get ourselves away from these colonialists. Get ourselves away from them. Then you can be on your own as a nation. These people identify us as one people from the same country. But it is only the people themselves, the Biafran people, they say some of us, we don't know whom we are. We don't know who we are. Now the stage is set again. And you see when something happened, the first people to threaten is Biafrans, the Igbo Biafrans. They begin to threaten the Igbo Biafrans wherever they are. And I believe we have learned our lesson. Don't say you are waiting for somebody to protect you. The Biafran government have passed a bill for self-defense. Defend yourself by all means necessary. Don't wait for anybody to call on you. And the time is now. You're welcome, my beloved brother Greg. Let's hear from you, Greg. Go on and speak to us. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, choose. Good afternoon. My
Good
greetings
afternoon,
to you all and to our brother Wafoibo. Awambani. Thank you so much.
No.
Thank you for the good work. And my greetings to all the Biafrans who are present today. You are doing a good work, and we continue doing what we are supposed to be doing. For the world to be hearing our voice every day, as long as we are still alive. Those who are alive will show that they are alive. That is the reason why God gave us life today again. So I thank you one more time, and I thank all the Biafrans, and my greetings go to all the people fighting for Biafra, to our leader Mazna Nikan, and our PM Simon Ekpa, and our Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, and all the cabinet, and all the men and the media, and all meaningful Biafrans who answer every day the call to speak out and fight for their people. Those, the armies in Biafra, who are genuinely with humbleness and spirit of obedience and discipline. Those who have already have been given all they have to fight for their people, to make sure that there is freedom in Biafra land. If you are wearing today Biafra military uniform, you will understand that what we are doing is real and not joke. Because there is no time and there is no way a reasonable thinking person will carry gun or bullet or machete or anything that is weapon and trying to kill you, and you coming out to defend yourself, and you still see it as a joke, and you still see it as not being real, or maybe there is another person that will come that will make it to be real, or make what you are doing to be real, or you're waiting till when Nnamdi Kanu will come out, then it will become a real time to fight for Biafra, or when Simon Ekpa will be there before you will know, yes, this uniform I'm wearing now, it has meaning. No, it's not like that. If you're on the uniform today, any day you wake up in the morning and you have that uniform and all the equipments that you're supposed to have to defend yourself and your people, you are no more looking to when Simon Ekpan is out before the command will be real. So everything is on progress as Simon Ekpan planned it, and the fire must go higher and higher and higher. So any person that trying to come to you to quench the fire, you tell him, Satan, get you behind me. You know he has turned to be a Satan who want to stop the movement as God planned it. Because that is what the enemy normally do. When the enemy want to cripple in, he will use your brother, your sister, to tell you, no, you can calm down small, go and rest. Because that is what Peter wanted to do to Christ. He said, no, how will you die? He will not die. You. He want to show Christ that he loved him so more than his father that sent him to the world. Then Christ look at Peter and tell him, get thee behind me, Satan. Even though Peter was the man that he called the stone that where he will use to build his church. But at that particular point in time, Satan wanted to use Peter to stop the mission of God. And Christ cast him away. Say, get thee behind me, Satan. He didn't say, get thee behind me, Peter. No. Because there is a spirit that entered Peter at that point in time that Christ was talking, commanding to go out. Say, get thee behind me. So that he will not use Peter come and stop the work that my Father has sent me. So anytime any person continue telling you to, you know that person has turned to Satan, no more Peter. So you have to ask him to get thee behind me. That is the message. So, what are we talking about? And why are we fighting? We are fighting because of the injustice. We are fighting because we have no hope being in Nigeria. We are fighting because our people have sold their souls because of money. We are fighting because of our future and our children's future. We are fighting because we have turned ourselves into the second slavery in the whole world. All the Biafrans are feel all over the part of the world doing another kind of enslavement. This one is the one that you have to come and beg, I want to be slave. And they will look at you and know if this is the one they want. So, if it's not the one they want, they will not give you visa. If it's the one they will allow you, and they will be clapping your hand that you have been given visa to stay, to be a slave in the land that is not yours. So what are we talking about? We are talking about freedom. Freedom, freedom, freedom. I hear my brothers speaking about the work the Burkina Faso man and many of them who have opened their eyes to understand what is going on in the whole world. What is happening is the Western people doesn't want another person to open their eyes. The Westerners doesn't want you to be a human being. They want to remain their subject. You remain their slave. And there is no other way they will do it than to make sure that any day they give you bread, you tell them thanks, sir. Just like what they are, the African politicians, especially the Eastern politicians, are doing to the Biafrans. You know? So that is why everything we'll be talking, we'll be carrying it our own side. Because you can take, what do you call it, you can take horse to the water, but you cannot force him to drink. So we have been trying to make other clans to understand what is going on in Africa. So those who want to wake up are waking up, like Burkina Faso, Guinea, what do you call it, Niger. Some of them are waking up. And we that started bringing the exposition, we that started opening the eyes of the Africans. The Fulanis are holding us down because of the 1914 amalgamation. So that is what is going on. And there is no other way we can come out except when we fight. There is no model that any person that wants to be freedom will do or would act except by fighting out himself. Just like when they say pray yourself out. Fight yourself out. There is no style. There is no style. So anyhow, they resist every evil until the person like by all means. The most important thing is that you are free. So that is what the Biafrans are doing. So, because when you look at what is happening, you know that our leaders are the one that is holding us down. I hear when this Osita, what do you call it? All these Eastern politicians were speaking. When they come out, they will speak as if they are serious. They are not serious for anything. They are all gamblers. Look at what happened between this one, the one they call somebody Ebonyi or what? The two Igbo, the lady in Anambra that is working with Soludo, and the one that is in the Senate. Look at the way they were insulting themselves. It's always the Igbo people that's kind of mess. What are they fighting for? They are fighting for things that cannot benefit any of the Igbos. None of those senators have risen up and condemned what have been happening in Namufu, or condemn what is happening in Enugu, condemn what is happening in Ebonyi. How many of them have come to the Senate and say enough is enough? Have you heard any of them did that? No. How many of them have risen up and said you have to use yourself, go for self-defense? Have you seen any of the Senate raise any issue like that in the Senate? Tell me one particular issue or one particular thing that any Eastern or Biafran Senate have raised in the Senate platform that they pass it as a law that will benefit his people. Just if there is any, please, you people that is in the house here can just mention one before I proceed. Just from all the whole senators that come from Biafra land, both from the one they call South and the Southeast. Tell me one of any law they have passed that favor their people. Or they want any law. Is there anyone? None. So, what are they doing? They go there to...
Master, can I come in here? Good morning to you. Good morning.
Yeah, morning, man.
You see, how would they do? They are all in bed. Their anus, let me put it, their anuses are open to their paymasters. They have so many skeletons in their cupboard. They are selling their own youth, their own brother that are standing against the injustices that is even meted at them in that National Assembly, the coven of the evil forces. None of them has the capacity. They have sold their dignity. They have soiled their hands by eating and dining and whining with the demons that are tormenting us. We are fighting them. They are dining with them. what courage, what moral do they have to stand and say things that are going to benefit our people? They will not.
That is the point. So, what is the essence of them? Every 4 years, they will come and tell you, vote for me. And they have not benefited for anything. They have not passed any one law. They have not agitated for anything that will profited their people. And every 4 years, they will come because of the money they are making. They only go there to make money and come back and bring the Fulanis to kill his people. So that is the problem. Look at what happened in Uromi, in Edo State. After the killing, now they turn it to be Igbo killing. The Igbos are killing the Northerners. And why are they doing it? They want to present the Igbos as evil people, so that anytime they kill them, they're justified. Now they have arrested thousands of, many of them. Why are they arresting them? They arrest them so that those people, villages, none of them will rise up to defend his people when the Fulanis are coming. That when you hear that they have arrested those people that fought these people and killed them, you will not come out, because when you come out, they will arrest you. And then the Fulanis will have access to their ladies and their mothers and their sisters and rape them and kill them and destroy their farms. So that is the essence of those arrests you see. Then the question is, how many Fulanis have they arrested in Amufu, in Enugu State? Amufu, in Enugu State. How many Fulani have they arrested in Abia State? In those places they were selling cows and they found a grave that contained more than 300 corpses. If that kind of thing happen in any part of the north, will any Igbo man remain talking of his business?
They will level the market.
They will level the market and kill all of them. Not even law. When they kill this Deborah Christian, how many, even though they know the classmates that fought this lady and killed her, how many of them were arrested? No single one. How many Fulanis have been arrested in all those places that have been killing people in the Yoruba land? Going and arrest them in their business place and arrest them in masses? Nobody. But now they have gone to the village to arrest even the innocent people. Probably the majority of them will not even know what happened in that Uromi. And they are still tagging it the Igbos are killing the Fulanis. So is that not good enough for people to understand they must go home? How many of our Eastern politicians have come out to condemn that kind of statement and say, why must you tag the killing of the Fulanis in Uromi, Igbos? Or is it the government that have condemned it and said, no, don't carry these killings to the Igbo people, they were not the Igbos? Or is it the police that have come to say it? Have you heard the police say, no, those people were not Igbos? So these are the gang up against a particular people. Against a particular people. That anything that happened, they will present you the Igbos as the evil in Nigeria. And still they don't want to allow you to go on your own. To go and go with your evil. Without your evil, they want to hold you by all means. And you are not getting the message. So that is the point. We continue crying every day. That is the point. We continue coming out to speak so that the world will be hearing our voices. We are not talking it because when we speak it, maybe if any European or any American or even the useless African people, neighbors will hear and raise a voice and say, those kind of judgment or injustice is not good. So that is the point. So it's we, the Biafrans, that will rise and fight against those things. And I thank God that some part of our southern people are rising up like this Uromi people who see those kind of evil and fought against it. Because people will not understand it. If it were Igbo man that have this kind of business of Udangota, every time they will find him with the Fulanis carrying guns and using truck to transport them from one state, from one part of the country to another, all those terrorists. That Igbo man business must have been banned, and then maybe by now they must have charged him as a terrorist as well. So, but nobody's talking about Dangota's trailers and all those things. It's not one, it's not two, it's not three. Both killing people and going out without nobody asking questions. So these are the things we are talking about. So then you come, you ask about the what do you call it? The Uromi people. So they want to make sure they stop you for fighting your rights. And if it had happened in the Igbo land, the same thing would have happened. The governors would have gone to every villages and burned it and said arresting their people. So that is the case. And in our place, in Anambra, in Imo, in Enugu, in Ebonyi, in any part of Biafra land, when they catch any of the terrorists, they will ask him, "Did we touch you? Did we beat you? Did we do anything?" He will say no. It's okay. Because that is the order from the governors and all the politicians and all the billionaires that invite them to, who are giving them share to come and kill our people. But once an Igbo person or any Biafran commit any little crime, he will go scot-free. They will kill him. They will not even take him to police and they will take him to court. No. They will kill him instantly. But when they catch the Fulani terrorists, they will ask him, "Did we touch you? Did we beat you?" On the camera, he will say no. And when you look at him, you will see that he was very, very untouched. Nobody touched him truly. So that is what we are facing. So it shows that the tribe that owns Nigeria and the tribe that is enslaved in Nigeria and the Biafrans are those ones that are being enslaved. So, and that is what we say, enough is enough. We can no more take those kind of enslavement in our land. Let them dissolve Nigeria and let everybody stay on his own. If we are coming to our place, then they will give you condition. If we are coming to your place, you give us condition as well. If that condition is okay for us, we will come. If it's not okay for us, then we will remain in our land. It is in every part of the world. So I don't know why they find Nigeria on too difficult. So that is the thing. So we will continue fighting. The inner fight we are fighting will not stop. That is one thing we must know. Because the British and the Nigerian government are not sleeping. They want Nigeria by all means. So they will be using either me and you who will accept to do that job for them, to do it very well for them, so that they will be betraying everything we are doing. But by God's grace, they will be failing when God will be detecting them one by one. And they will be seeing them, and they will be being, the whole world will be knowing them, and they will be ashamed of all their evils every time they misbehave. So I thank you, my brother Choose, and all the people who will be coming and contributing in this. So I rest my case in this moment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate you for that wonderful contribution. You have spoken well. Today, as I have said before, every one of us should know that today is Monday, a day that we come together to demand the unconstitutional release of our Supreme Leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We come together, we ask for the release of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. It is a very special day. And the whole Biafra land is on lockdown. Nobody is being forced. It is something that Biafrans have decided within themselves. And it's lasted for more than 3 years now, still counting. And we will continue to do it until we are free. So wherever you are in Biafra land, don't expose yourself to danger. Don't say you are not warned or you are not told. Just try as much as possible to stay safe. Our enemies are not relenting. They know that their days are numbered, and they are fighting from different corners, different angles. But I bet you they are going to fail. In a very short while, the Egyptians you see today, you will not see them anymore. And I pray that it will be so. My fellow Biafrans, we must continue what we are doing to evangelize, to pass information to other ones, and to continue to support the United States of Biafra financially, most importantly. It is very important. The battle we are fighting is not a small one. We are fighting against the globalists. And you know these globalists, they are mean. Very, very mean. There's a video I'm about to play now, and I want us to pay attention to that video. In that video, you are going to get a clue of this British and their globalist agenda. These people do not want Africa to succeed or move an inch. Whenever they sense a kind of relief in Africa, whenever they sense that Africa is about to get a face, they will always rise with one excuse or the other. So I'm going to play this video for you to see. The same way they gave excuse of fighting Biafra in 1967 during the Civil War. Their excuse was that if they didn't do it, Russia will do it. And it's about dominating, about taking over our resources. That is what they are still after. Up to this moment as we speak, that agenda is still on. That is why any place they see a light in Biafra, they will try to quench that light with one propaganda or the other. They will manufacture propaganda from one angle and tell you. Either they tell you that your government is a dictator government, or they tell you that the London one military government. Who the hell are they to choose for us who we are going to use? Our system and theirs are not the same. Our morality are not the same. We have our differences. The way they rule themselves and the way we rule ourselves is not the same. Things that work for them cannot work for us. But they try to impose a system against us that will help them to be able to extort from us. That's very thing they did in 1967. They are still doing it up to today. Look at Traore, who is today building his own country. They are coming from all angles, making him some Jewishy offer that doesn't have anything to give to the people. And when they bring this offer, their center is on the man who is in power. They want to entice him, try to give him some fake promises that doesn't hold water. And some of us Biafrans, some of us Africans that have small mind, when they make these promises, we are carried away. How can somebody be promising you something you know you can afford, and yet you are carried away? All these gifts they are giving you is something you can get even when you build your country and your country start functioning well. You can get more than that. Most importantly, respect and dignity to yourself. But most of the African leaders, I don't know where their mind is. They entice them with promises, fake promises that doesn't hold water, and they fall for it. I want us to listen to this video. Before I play that video, okay, let's listen to the video. Let's listen to that very video that was made for you to see the British agenda. Their wickedness never stops. Instead, they are manufacturing different types, and they will never give up until we force it out from them, just like Ibrahim Traore is doing today.
Region, one of the poorest, yes, yet fastest growing demographically. The succession of military coups will make the region more unstable for years ahead. Russia is both influencing and benefiting from the crisis, and the region has become fertile ground to the rise of terrorism. This is of direct concern for Europe, for our security and our prosperity. So we need to show the same unity of purpose towards Africa as we have shown towards Ukraine. This is a must.
Now, this very message of this woman, this speech of this woman revealed the criminality of these Europeans. These people are a bunch of criminals. They are criminals, and they are the cause of the problem we have in Africa. These Europeans. Look at the statement this woman is making. Let us follow that statement gradually, and you will understand the evil in these people.
Or think about the Sahel region.
Remember that this woman is a British.
She's a British.
She's a British. From her accent, she's a British. She's a British representative, I think, in their, is it the European Union or whatever, the meeting that they had in Davos. I don't know the place they had this meeting. I don't know.
It should be one of those, their European criminal agenda or their Western useless ideology. So let us take it a bit. It's a very short video, so let us take it gradually and analyze it.
Or think about the Sahel region. One of the poorest, yes, yet fastest growing demographically.
The Sahara region. They say one of the poorest and the fastest growing demography. they are concerned about the Sahel region. This African region is a headache to them. And it is not because they are concerned about you and I. It is not because they are concerned about the people living there. It is about the resources we have. That is where this concern is coming from. Just like they made it clear in the other clip I played the other day, where the British man was saying that if they do not sponsor Nigeria against the Biafrans, that Russia is going to do it and then take over the resources. Every time you see these people talking about Sahel region, it is not about the human being, you and I that live in there. It is about our resources. I want everybody to have this in the back of their mind. Whether you are a Biafran or non-Biafran, any part of African people, this is, anytime you see them speaking, it is not about you. That is why today they will sit back in their nation. Even when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is carrying their passport, he was kidnapped from Kenya. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not travel to Kenya with Nigerian passport. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu traveled to Kenya with British passport. And they went to Kenya, kidnapped him, tortured him for 3 good days. The kidnap wasn't enough. The torture wasn't enough. They extraordinary renditioned him to Nigeria. And today, the British government could not offer not even a single sanction. Remember during the time of Umar Diko? Umar Diko's own was an attempt. They did not succeed. An attempt to kidnap Umar Diko, even though Umar Diko was a criminal. An attempt was made to kidnap Umar Diko. What did the British government do? The airline that was supposed to use to extradite Umar Diko was sanctioned in British. They seized it. Everybody that participated in directly or indirectly, they were all captured and they were all sentenced to prison. So many people that were connected to that very kidnap,
including the Israeli secret agents that were involved were jailed. Nigeria suffered more than 6 months diplomatic suspension with them.
Exactly. And Umar Diko was not a British passport holder. Umar Diko was not a British passport holder. But they went to that length to impose sanction on Nigeria, and everybody was connected to that very atrocity. But ask me, why is it that now, in 21st century, somebody that was holding their passport has been kidnapped, tortured for 8 days, extraordinary rendition to Nigeria, and yet they are doing nothing about it, not even a sanction. Instead, they are busy strengthening their bilateral relationship with Nigeria.
Mazi Chicks, forgive me. I will continue. Once you get to this one there, I will continue to interject you. Forgive me. And our listeners, please forgive me as well. I remember that I okay now.
Go on, my brother, go on.
You see, there is something that we are not aware of that was happening in the house of our leader in the UK. Something I am suspecting. There is something that was happening. Do you know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was having serious family issues, relationship issues with the wife? Do you know that? It is there. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was not happy because the partner, the helper he chose, was not in alliance with the ideology of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So many things were going on underground. Look, let me tell you, the escape of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for me, escaped through the Spirit of God to Kenya. Do you know Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was criticizing England, United Kingdom, and their government policies against the Biafran people and those that are affected by their ugly policies. They couldn't try him. They knew that they cannot try this man because it is within his right to do whatever that he was doing. They now infiltrated, let me use this way, to make sure they were setting the wife against him. You know what it is when you lay your hands on your wife or get angry to, you are mistakenly or forced to lay your hand on your wife. That could have been the end of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. That was what they were targeting. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu failed to fall into their trap. And when that heat was going on, only God knows why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu left for Kenya. And I will relate that to the prophecy he made. He said, I will go to Abuja. I will march to Abuja. I will destroy Nigeria under their backyard. And that is exactly what he has done. Prophetically for me, that is exactly what he has done. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, my blood brother. Yeah, what you said is true. Is actually what transpired. Sometimes we don't like to dig into that areas to just limit ourselves to certain issues because of certain things. So when you look at the manipulation of these Westerners, somebody wrote on the comment section, he said that this woman is a German. She's a German lady. She's a German lady, German defense minister.
Okay. She has. She has an accent. She has an accent of English. Is it not Jamaic? English language is Jamaic and whatever. They are together, my brother. Thank you for that
agenda, this globalist agenda, they are part of it. They are all part of it. They are all part of it. So when you see them talk about Africa, it is not about you and me as an individual. It is about the resources. Let's continue to listen to it now.
The succession of military coups will make the region more unstable for years ahead.
You see, when they talk about this succession of military coup, they are saying it because of the Biafran states that have found their feet today. Niger, Mali, and Burkina. There is no other way you can be able to take yourself away from these people except this military way. In Africa, conduct your election 1 million times. It is the same thing. If you go back and check the African countries that have somehow succeeded in the past and later failed, it was still to that military takeover. Because it's only the military that they cannot have absolute control on. The West cannot have absolute control on the military. When Gaddafi came on power, Gaddafi came as a military man. Until he transformed himself and came into as a civilian. And he did excellently well. He took himself away from everything westernized. And until death, Biafra, and until death, Gaddafi had the best government in Africa. The best. Forget about all this their propaganda and blackmail and nonsense they were saying. He was providing for his people. And I'm not saying that somebody told me, within that period of time, I visited Libya. I was in Libya for almost 2 to 3 years. In the presence of Muammar Gaddafi. Almost their people were living free of everything. Free of everything. Electricity is almost 100% free. Their petrol is almost 100% free. Health, education. You got married, you got paid. You have children, you got paid. As soon as a child is born, an account is opened and that child has money to himself. Today, Libya, in the next 1 million years, can never find a government that will be benefiting them the way the government of Gaddafi was benefiting them. But the West came with their, what do they call it? Come with their propaganda and all whatnot. What's that? Their nonsense, nonsense language they always use and bring to us. You must be democratic. You must be a democratic government.
No, they accuse him of human rights abuses.
Human rights abuses. Human rights abuses. But these people are the greatest human rights abuse on the planet Earth. Up to this moment, the human rights abuse against the Biafrans from 1967 to 1970, using starvation against children, a war crime, genocide. Even they have refused to recognize that as genocide. Human rights abuse against Biafrans, they refuse to recognize it because they are the ones in the front line perpetrating those human rights abuse against us. The exploitation of the coastal region of Biafra land is human rights abuse. There is no human rights abuse more than that. There is no human rights abuse more than the exploitation of the coastal region of Nigeria today. A place where the golden fowl that laid the golden egg is dying of hunger, no food to eat. Look at Niger. Niger, if you have not visited Niger, you will not know what Niger was suffering. In Niger, with all the wealth they have, a country that have uranium in a higher scale, and yet Niger, people there can barely feed. You go there, you see children flying into their noses. They can't even afford 1 square meal. You go to Niger, you'll be wondering, how do people survive in this area?
You are very right. You are right.
You will be surprised, how do Nigerians survive? Niger people survive. And yet they have uranium upon which they are building France. What is that, their capital? Paris. Paris is being lifted up, celebrated as one of the best cities in the world, funded by Niger. In a Niger, where you go, you see children they don't have clothes on them. You see them lying down on the ground in a desert, fly entering their noses. They eat the fly, they eat nothing, nothing. This Niger Republic, which human rights abuse is great. And even after they have been able to recover themselves from these idiots, it was discovered that they were taking this uranium almost free of charge, free. Uranium that they said is around $200 per gram or whatever. But they were taking it free.
They were paying
less than $1. They were taking less than $1.
Yeah, they were paying them, I think you can check. Let someone check. I think they were paying them less than $11 for every, is it kg, this or so, or gram that they took away. Which was, I think, what about just like the amount you mentioned?
Something that is $200 in the market.
Yes, they give them $11 or $12, and they have control over it.
They have control. They measure it. They only tell you the quantity they want to tell you, and even that they steal and tell you, they dictate the quantity. They scale it by themselves. Nobody monitor them, and yet they buy it cheaper. Which human rights abuse is greater than that one? The Zoological Republic called Nigeria, when we go down in Biafra land completely and we begin to dig out, after we have gotten we have established on the ground, if they tell you how much resources that the British are stealing from Nigeria, you will cry. This petroleum that you are buying a very high rate in Nigeria, British is taking it almost free. Even in 21st century, they are still laying pipe to take gas free, unmeasured. Just like when they come, sometimes you hear, oh, they are stealing Nigerian oil. They mount a ship in the high sea.
Where do those ships go to? Is it not Europe?
My brother, do ordinary people buy crude oil? Do ordinary people buy crude oil? Is it not a transaction between governments and governments? Where do they refine it? Can any ship move from one point to the other without the world dictating it? They have their satellite everywhere watching.
Even to the extent, once a ship, you have your goods in a ship that is coming, let's say, to Ghana or Nigeria. They will give you a tracking system. You, an individual, right on your phone there, you'll be tracking where the ship is, where the ship has gotten to, where it has been discharging, and so on and so on, and when it's going to get to a place. But these people with this powerful navigation system cannot. But all those things will just move away from Nigeria with undetected. And you say, don't leave these people alone. They are evil. They are evil.
These are people that will come and preach human rights abuse for you to use it to destroy somebody who is building his own country. Look at what is happening in Congo today. Congo, one of the richest countries in Africa, with mineral resources, that is building the world. Look at how Congo is living.
Mazi Chooks, there is a video. I don't know whether it was you that played it or you for 247 some time ago, where a Caucasian man, an European man or so, was boldly saying in that video that what is happening in Africa is good, that they love what is happening in Africa and the way it is happening, because if they allow Africa to grow, he said themselves in Europe or the Western world will die. That was what he said in that video. I don't know whether you have come across that video.
I think I've seen it. I've seen such video. It is so sad. It is so sad. These same people, the annoying thing that it is these same people that will come and preach to you to tell you about human rights abuse. Meanwhile, they are the real abusers and they continue to abuse on a higher scale. Look at this woman today speaking. This speech she's making now is because of countries that have decided today to take themselves away from that calamity. You're talking about Niger, Burkina, and Mali. Today in Africa, these three places now are the best people ruled by the military. Their military government have taken over and begin to take back their land. Look at Burkina in the front today. Look at what that young man has been able to achieve within the space of some few years. And Russia, that have decided to back them up. You will see her today using that blackmail of Russia again. That Russia, that if they don't do something, Russia is now using it as an advantage. I want you to listen to you hear her mention Russia again.
Make the region more unstable for years ahead. Russia is both influencing and benefiting from the crisis.
You see? Now they drag Russia into it. Now they bring Russia. What wrong had that somebody wake up to support something that is good? How is that a problem? That was how they fought Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump was preaching against the globalists and their evil agenda. People that have decided to turn against the will of God and provide their own will and impose it on people without minding. They take away common sense from people and begin to plant a different thing into their head. And somebody comes say, we must apply our common sense and let things be the way it is, naturally. They come against him. They put different kinds of propaganda. Today, Russia coming out to support people to stand on their own. How is that your problem? And now they are beginning to try to, you see her trying to compare it with what is happening in Ukraine. Today, what is the fate of Ukraine? What is the fate of Ukraine and what is happening in Ukraine? Is it not you people now in the West that are abusing the right of the Ukrainians? Even when the Ukrainians say they don't want the war anymore, they are now forcing them to continue to fight the war through their president, their stooge. And these people will come out and preach to you about human rights. Oh my God. It is sad. Let us listen to
Mazi, sorry.
Go on, my brother.
Mazi, sorry. You see, Trump came and called Zelensky the stooge of the European, of the European. He called him that he needed peace. He needed that war, ceasefire. That was what they were campaigning on. Immediately, this guy, Trump gave his own, what do I call it, proposals to him. Do you know that Zelensky agreed? Zelensky agreed for ceasefire. Yes, he agreed for ceasefire. But immediately, there is European, UK, Starmer. Immediately, this man agreed. Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, flew straight to France. They had what they call emergency meeting. Emergency meeting, I think, in France. Starmer of UK flew to France to meet Macron. That was where they begin to do this shenanigans that they are doing now. They try to make Trump, someone that is bad, someone that doesn't support them, and so on and so forth, for brokering peace. Look, these people are, you see that war. They are preparing now to send troops to Ukraine. These people will lose in that war. Russia, you see that one country, Russia, will dirty them because they are the cause of that problem. You promise Russia that you will never at any time, bring the thought of bringing Ukraine into NATO. That was the agreement that you people had. You brokered it. Just like this same UK forced the zoo to, rescind from the agreement they had in a Eburi. The same thing that they are doing now. The same thing, the same system, the same tactics, the same divide and rule to conquer. The same thing. And that is what they permitted into the mouth of the caliphate regime in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. You just made it. That's exactly what they're doing, playing games.
And the region has become fertile ground to the rise of terrorism. This is of direct concern for Europe, for our security and our...
You see, they land in terrorism. And you think they care. These people are still the same people sponsoring this terrorism. The terrorism in the Sahel region is sponsored by France. And there are evidence to that. This period that Burkina, Niger, and Mali have been able to remove themselves from it, you see how protected they are. Are they complaining about terrorism anymore? The terrorists have no place there. They can defend their land and they can fight and protect their region. In one of the interviews I saw Traore, do you know that these people, they go to the extent of limiting you to the kind of weapon you will have? No matter how the enemy is equipped, they will give you restriction to the kind of weapon you will have to fight the enemy, even when they know that your enemy has superior weapon. And this manipulation is what is happening in Nigeria today. That's when you see the Nigerian military as if they can't do anything. It is from the top. It is from the top. Just these are the people, the advisors that Traore talked about when I played his video here. They advise them on what to do and what not to do, and to stand down. Oh, don't fight them, don't eliminate them. They are your people. Oh, if you do that, they continue to make sure that those terrorists remain there to continue to draw the attention of the people. So when they keep you busy with that, they will be in the other side extorting your mineral resources. And when they talk about terrorism in Africa, you think they care? They don't care about you. They don't care. Today, Biafra is offering a remedy to the whole world to stop these terrorist activities in Sahel region. But yet, they don't care. They do not care. They have seen the Biafran people, our agenda, what we want, it is clearly stated. The problem of Nigeria is because of the interest is not the same. Putting people that have different interests today together can never work. The value system of these people are not the same with us. And we're asking that let every region be on their own, divide people according to their tribal lines, and let them be there and defend themselves. This is a very simple thing that you will do, and you will have freedom. Everywhere will be calm. Immediately, the interest that they are chasing will die a natural death. But they will not do it. Every state in Nigeria has resources that can be able to protect them. Why don't they go their separate ways? Arewa go their separate ways. The Oduduwa go their separate ways. The Biafrans go their separate ways. The Middle Belt be on their own. Why is it a problem? It is a problem because once we do it, development will come. They'll begin to feel threatened. Just the way they felt threatened during the time of Michael Okpara, when we had the Eastern region. They were threatened because they saw the development that we had in Biafra land then. Every time they see that Africa is about to stand, they will fight it. It doesn't matter who you are. But some of us are ignorant of this. Some of us idiotic people. They will keep you busy fighting. Oh, he's an Igbo man. They will keep inviting. Oh, don't allow this Biafra. Where every time people are talking about Biafra, talk about your own. Talk about your Duduwa. Talk about your Arewa. Talk about your Middle Belt. Why are you not keeping yourself busy to talk about your freedom? Why are you still trying to keep the status quo that is making you enslaved? Why? Including the terrorism we're talking about today, the sponsorship is coming from the West. And there are evidence to that. Not just from us. The evidence is everywhere. But these same people will still come and preach to you, human rights abuse. Human rights abuse. But look at the abuse that is happening today. Look at the case of our Prime Minister, Samanekwa. A man who you have been held in Kabinikodo for 4 months now, without any charges against him. No charges whatsoever. You say you're investigating. You are investigating. And for the past 4 months now, he has been held in Kabinikodo. And at the end of the day, you will tell us he's guilty or he's not guilty and he will pay compensation. When life has been lost, what crime has he committed? Defending his own land. And you, the same law, international law, told us that there is right for self-defense. People have the right to defend themselves. But when a Biafran defend himself, you tag him a terrorist. When a Biafran defend himself, you call him names. You call me a associationist. Look for name or the other, I call him. We cannot bow to this double standard. We must stand up and fight and free ourselves, and the time is now.
Prosperity. So we need to show the same unity of purpose towards Africa as we have shown towards Ukraine. This
unity of purpose. What is the unity of purpose? To keep us enslaved and continue to divide us for themselves and share resources in Africa for themselves. That is their unity of purpose. All the European countries, their unity of purpose is not to make you an African to have a better life or make you an African to live good. It is not. It will never be. That is why we, the Biafrans, have taken our own fate in our own hand and we don't listen to these clowns. They're making no sense. It is about them. And one of the things that when they say it, they make it a must.
It is a must.
You hear her? That is a must. To keep us down, to enslave us and continue to extort from us. We demand for the unconditional release of our Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the immediate release of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. And we will never stop until we get our freedom. Thank you so much, my beloved brother Maxwell. Let's go on and round up on the program. We've got to be rounding up now. Give us your round-up comment and include it with your closing remark at the same time so that we can round up the program. Go ahead, my brother Maxwell.
Thank you so much. You see, the gathering, the video that you just played now is what has been happening even when they were here, subjugating us, maltreating us, killing and doing committing all manners of abuses on the indigenous people in Africa. Even when they left, they did not go in a hole. They left part of them into this place. And how did they manage to control our people is by establishing their own people, planting those that are responsible, those that will be answerable to them, and empower them. And when such people wakes up to begin to see, no, I cannot continue with this, they will find one way or the other to eliminate that person. History is there to teach us so many things. They did it to Kwame Nkrumah. They did it to this Thomas Sankara. They've done it to Muammar Gaddafi using terrorism. What terrorism? When I went to Libya many years ago, I did not see anything terror in Libya. There were houses, unoccupied government houses. Unoccupied government houses. Agriculture, apart from Zimbabwe, Libya was the second food basket of Africa. Absolutely. Because I saw them when these workers go to pick okra, go to pick bitter balls, go to pick vegetables, lettuce. If you see them as if they are going to work in the refinery, NNPC, well dressed, fed, and when they pay them, they convert their dinar into dollar. the dinar into dollar. For 1 year, when they come back to Africa and tell you that they were in Europe, you won't doubt them because they were paid handsomely. You finish your school, you don't have a job. The government will continue to pay you until you get your job. That was what I saw in Libya. When you borrow, it's interest-free. That was what I saw in Libya. Life was good, but in it, there are people, stooges, that were not happy with what he was doing. They used that, they capitalized on that to begin to fight this guy. And one other thing that increased the bombing, the regime change against Muammar Gaddafi that led to his death was when he received those people that were involved in Lokabi bombing and give them a heroic welcome. I think it was Canada first that struck Libya before the rest begin to come. And they now introduce their own people. The ISIS that you see today, all of them were people that were groomed and trained to go and destabilize them.
Of course.
Now they can no longer control them. They can no longer control them. They can no longer control the finances that these people are getting. They are now fighting against the interests of the West. That is the reason why. Now tell me, if this woman who foolishly said that terrorism is growing in Africa, were there not French military bases in the Francophone countries for many, many years? Were they able to curtail the excesses of the terror that they created? Were they able to control it? Look at my
brother Mas.
Yes, sir.
Do you know that it was these people that gave the world, even the terrorists you have in the Middle East today? When they removed Saddam Hussein, before the removal of Saddam Hussein, were you seeing this kind of terrorism in the South, in the Middle East?
No, now
Saddam Hussein was checkmating these criminals. They were checkmating these terrorists. They were there, but they were not effective. But immediately they removed Saddam Hussein. You see how Middle East have turned.
They empowered them, their actions empowered them, and they always want to, if this West is not in bed with you, they will find one way or the other to give you that bad name to hang you. This is what they have done. And as they are doing it, they are selling their weapons to these people to go and fight. And on the other hand, they are taking your resources. These people have the technologies, the equipments. As you are fighting and killing the other people, then they are behind there taking your resources from you. That is what they do. This is what these people do. Now I ask this woman that is here, who are you to determine the kind of leadership that we are going to have in Africa? Are you my mother and my father? How stupid can you be? Are you my father? Even there are limits to which a father, parents, can even, talk to their parent. Once you become 18 years and above, you become an adult. You are capable of making decisions by yourself and take responsibility of it. Who are you to tell me the kind of leadership that I have? I love Ibrahim Traore. The people love him. They are now feeling the impact of good leadership in that country. They are fighting terrorists. They brewed, they grewed, they protected, just like Nigeria is protecting their own terrorists in Nigeria. The terrorists that you protected and sponsored in Burkina Faso are being chased away now with the sophisticated UAVs that he bought from Turkey and Russia. When you were there, what did you do? You are gone in Mali. You are France. You are gone in Mali. You are gone in Niger. You are gone in Burkina Faso. Soon you will be gone in Ivory Coast and Benin. I know that they are also doing the other. Your influence in Africa will be weighted to that level that the world will know that Africans are serious. I am still waiting for the Anglophone to stand The lily-livered Anglophone politicians, I don't think that any of them will start, because what they are benefiting from, the evil controlled by their colonial idiots. My brothers and sisters in Biafra land, when you look at this last video Mazichik played here right now, you will know that hoping on these people is a waste of time. The resources that God has given to you, please deploy it, and deploy it very well. Deploy it to free the land of Biafra. Deploy everything in cash and in kind, and get ready. Get ready to participate when the time comes. Because for me, you are okay that you are watching here. I am ever ready to participate when I am called upon. We need weapons. We need that access. We need grounds in order to stand and push this evil away from the land. That big elephant that has taken over our land, that these corrupt European, Western, countries are supporting to their own benefit. We cannot allow them to continue to make mockery of us. We want you, all of you that are living in these developed countries, to come back home. We have good climate. Can you survive? If not, do you know what you go through to be acclimatized? Do you know what you suffer anytime the winter sets in? I experienced it in Russia. In Russia was about 17, minus 10, minus 12. I was crying. If not that it was a military force, I would have run away from there, because I've never experienced such thing before. Until I went to Yugoslavia. So these are some of the things you people need to come home. You cannot be working in a place, helping them to develop where you are, your ancestral land is, lying fallow, getting ready, God forbid, for the enemies to take over it. Thank you so much. And as you do this, I say, may God continue to strengthen and prosper each and every one of you. Bless you in everything that you place your hand, so that it will be enough for you, and to pay a little out of it. That tithe. I didn't say you should not pay your tithe in your churches if you want to, but I would prefer for you to pay that tithe in things that are going to free the lives and save our young girls from being molested. That is the best tithe you are going to pay. Thank you, and may God bless you. May God bless Mazen Namdekan. May God bless Simon Ekpa. May God bless Dr. Ngozi Orabueze and her cabinet members. May God bless you, Mazi Chicks, and the likes of you. Those in the comment section, I say may God bless each and every one of you. Happy Monday to all of you. I yield.
Thank you so much, my beloved brother Max. I appreciate you for your support and all your efforts on this program today. I thank you so much for immense elaboration and explanations that you have just done, and you have always done for us. We appreciate you, and we pray that Chukwu Okike Abiama will continue to guide and protect you. My fellow Biafrans that have been with us on this program from the beginning to the end, I appreciate every one of you. Please like and share the program if you have not done so. The social media is not our friend. They are trying everything they can to cage us and see that our message doesn't go far. But with your support, we can go a long way. Please try and support by sharing the program. I thank you all for being part of the program. I pray that Chukwu Okike Abiama will guide and protect every one of us. I pray for our Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. I pray for our Supreme Leader, Mazen Nandekano. I pray for our Prime Minister, Mazen Simon Ekpa, for divine protection, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I pray that we shall overcome, and very soon, victory shall be ours. No weapon formed or fashioned against us shall prosper. Wherever you are watching this program from, those who are in Biafra land and they are observing the sit at home today, please continue to observe the sit at home. It is something that we must do to set ourselves free. Do not be discouraged. No matter the challenges, the propaganda and blackmail, do not allow yourself to be affected or deceived. We must continue to preach this gospel. We must continue to speak up wherever you are. Do your best. The government is our government. The United States of Biafra is the way to go. The United States of Biafra, under the command of our Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, wherever you are. Give your support to her. Give your support to your own government. You are not just doing it to Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, you are doing it to yourself. If you do good, you do yourself. You do bad, you do yourself. It is your choice to decide what you have to do. As for us, we have chosen to serve Biafra, and we will continue to serve Biafra. And everyone that has made that good choice, Chukwu Okike Abiama will continue to guide and protect us until we get to Promised Land. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you again next time. Stay blessed. Against the Biafran people. At this moment, we use this media to demand the unconditional release of the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, Ngozi Simon Ekpa Joko, who the Finland authority have held incommunicado for long now. They say they are investigating, and it's been months up to now. No charge has been brought against the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra. We hereby demand the immediate release, the unconditional release of our Prime Minister, Ngozi Simon Ekpa. The global conspiracy against the Biafrans is unacceptable. We will never, ever accept it. It doesn't matter how they try to paint it, the whole world is watching. And it is sad that the world is silent, watching the atrocities committed against the Biafran people. Ngozi Simon Ekpa is only asking for the freedom of his own people. He's only defending his own people, trying to save the innocent lives that are being wasted away. Free Ngozi Simon Ekpa now.
Kala kala le rinu wangu